There we go, and the recording starts up. Okay. Hey, Travis, how are you?
Good.
Nice to,
Hello. Mhm.
nice to see you. We got Adelina. Adelina's a new, she
Hello.
just started at Linax this week. So we're,
Nice,
and there's
nice to
Bern.
meet you.
Yeah, and so hopefully, good morning, Bern. Hopefully, we'll have a couple people join us and we can just have a nice discussion and see if there's anything anybody wants to go over, and maybe I can go through a couple new features we have going on, and we'll go from there. We'll see who joins us today.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, afternoon, Bern.
hmm
Good
Afternoon.
afternoon.
Um, but yeah, and I don't know. There's only about 15 people registered today, so we'll see how many want to show up. But if it's only you two, that's still great. We'll go over a couple things. Um, okay, well maybe just to kind of open up the discussion, was there anything either of you guys were looking to go over today or see, or were you just hoping to kind of connect and see what was happening with the webinar?
Yes, the second one.
The second one, yeah,
Nothing
just
specific.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
Same
great.
for me.
Okay, great. Yeah, I mean, we just want to, hopefully it kind of ramps up over the months here, but we just really want to have a place where anybody can come, especially when we have new features released, so that anybody using the platform can ask questions about it, see how it works, and just connect with anybody else that are doing the same things, with the same subscriptions. So maybe today, what I will show you guys is our new resource portal, which I'm wondering if you guys are aware of, but we just implemented a new resource portal that's accessed from the drop down here. And it's just a really good place where we've tucked all the manuals away, any feedback for that you've given to any subscribers. And we have these all brand new procedures, which are really good. So I'll show you a couple things. So we have the new manuals and guides. So for everybody, there's a nice platform guide here. There's a SIMAC guide and a TG51 guide. A lot of people have difficulty, navigating the simulators because they're pretty complex. So we hope that these guides kind of help with that. Especially like the SIMAC guide. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but at the bottom of it, so it kind of tells you how to run a test and run a beam, and then it actually has these kind of test procedures, and it tells you to do a couple things and changing some values and then getting what the desired outcome would be of that, just so that you can kind of get familiar with the changes that happen in the simulator. So like this is, looking at the gun trigger delay, modulator trigger delay, RF driver output power, PFN voltage, and just we've outlined a bunch of things. And so here's all the steering coils, bending magnet, klystron pulse voltage. So there's a lot of actual great little walkthrough procedures in here to really get familiar with the changes of the simulator. And then, we have the new TG51 guide as well. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the TG51 simulator that we have access to now. But there's a whole manual now for the simulator. And if you're not aware of the simulator, it's just here in the drop down. And maybe I'll kind of just explain. This is really the new version that we want to go towards. And so we're really, really, really trying to gun for a new version by the AAPM, to showcase it there for the first time. But from what everybody knows with our current simulators, I'll just open up another tab so we can kind of jump back and forth. But from what everybody knows with our current simulators, we want to go towards this new interface, and there'll be a third tab here called machine configuration with this simulator right there, so that you can kind of match your machine as we kind of have now. Make change those parameters as you want, and then you'll be able to send that beam model to your console. And so then the actual beam model that you would have with the machines working in your machine, you can actually send to this console here, and then we'll be able to deliver it to different locations. So right now we only have the TG51 calibration to deliver a beam to, but we're gonna create a user-defined phantom, and so then we'll probably start out with having, like 1, 2, 3, and 4 field deliveries, and then showing your dose distribution off that. So that's kind of the next big update we're coming out with. And then just kind of like a little sneak peek, we're also coming out, we will have some service screens coming out in the future as well that really will allow the engineers to dive in and get a true experience like they experience on the machines, first of all, and to actually have some troubleshooting experience on your kind of real actual values there. Um, so yeah, just a little bit on that. That's kind of where we're gonna go to in the future. But right now we do have, the TG51 calibration if you weren't aware. And so it's a great program here, and it really does go through the whole TG51 exactly like you would do in the clinic. And then we even have the TG51 form that people can fill out the values. So you can select your chamber model, then they can fill out all the values, and at the end they actually get the your centigrade over mu calibration factor so that you can update your current dose reference. And so this is the only section we have in the service screen now, but in the future we have plans to expand for our engineers. Um, so that I know I got a little bit carried away there from what I was showing you guys, but that's kind of the TG51 simulator and a bit on the manuals there in the student resources. But I also want to make sure that we know about the procedures. So we have these brand new procedures as well, which are a guided experience right on the simulator. And so we have 13 of them, and they cover both variant Electa. And so they do the energy procedures, flattening filter procedures, SSD and field size. And what they look like is they're just, I'll open one up here. It's an Excel form that it just kind of tells you what to do on the simulator, and it really helps. We find it can be really helpful in just understanding how to use the simulator in effective ways. And so, it kind of says to start with the default mode shown, and then, the blues are the values and defaults. And then it gets you to, at each step, change values in green. So, in this case, they want you to go to the gun tab, change the gun high voltage, and then we're going to kind of see how that reflects on our beam energy and beam current. And then at the bottom, it tells you to go through a couple questions based on those steps. So a ton of new content kind of being released out in terms of trying to make the simulator easier to use. So that's something we really want to make sure our customers are aware of, are these new procedures. And these are actually free to anybody with a free account, but you guys would all have more access than that. And so these are just up in the student resource portal. Like I said, student resources there. You can find these new procedures. And yeah, so there's that. That's kind of new. I did have one question actually from somebody who registered, and so maybe I'll just kind of address that. And they asked, can I tune the symmetry of the beams on a true beam medical linac after completing your courses? I'm a physicist and would like to tune the beam symmetry myself when doing annual machine QA instead of depending on field service engineers, and also fix the dose rate problem difference between the set and actual. Yeah, so that was kind of what I was explaining. So hopefully in the future, those server screens will be able to do some diagnostics with the set and actuals, and doing some troubleshooting with that. And then absolutely to answer that question, um, you can definitely tune the symmetry of beams on the True Beam Medical Linac after completing our courses. That is definitely what our courses focus on a lot is beamline adjustments, especially with things like symmetry. And that's a lot of our focus of our simulator in our steering tab here. You can see all of our coils, current coils, and even some errors you can introduce, and so you can really get familiar with steering beams with Simac, absolutely, and of course on both the Klystron and Magnetron or variant elective versions. Um, yeah, and so just trying to think of maybe some other new features we might have going on right now. We went through the TG51 and kind of talked about the new simulator. We went through the student resources. Um, I think that's kind of what we have going on for new features right now. I don't want to, I don't think we need to just go over too many things unless anybody has questions. I don't want this to just kind of be boring and repetitive. Um, but I'm just trying to think if there's anything else we got going on right now that's big to talk about. I don't think so. Maybe other than you can tell other people at the clinics and on the teams that we have come out with an individual subscription for the physics package. So we give the physics package for institutions, but we do now have an individual version of it just because we've been getting a lot of requests for it. So we have released a new individual version of that, and we've been getting a couple customers that have been enjoying it. And it's really just they get access to all the materials without kind of the um, management side of things. So yeah. So that's kind of an overview of what we got going on. And then obviously, this new webinar is going on. And like I said, so hopefully we'll have a new version coming out this summer for AAPM. And hopefully that'll be kind of that integrated console interface that we're talking about. And that'll be kind of our next big update to come. And so I think we're going to skip July for the monthly customer webinar just because a lot of people are very busy with vacations and things like that. But we'll probably resume back in August or September, and hopefully we'll have some more details on the new versions and some new features coming out with that. So. Yeah, so maybe I don't know, Bern and Travis, I hope I didn't disappoint or anything, or but did you have anything else you wanted to maybe check out or how is it going with using it currently? I guess you're maybe on a bit of a break right now.
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't used it much in recent months. Um, we will be using it more later on this year again.
Great.
A question about SIMAC 2. I mean,
Yeah.
um, has there been any speed improvements, or will there be in the next release? Because we find it rather slow to
Yes.
up to update when you make a
Yes.
change.
That is the biggest problem, and the answer is yes. That's one of our main goals of the new update that's coming out is to to have a faster beam model, an almost instant one. So we're kind of the idea maybe right now is to split it up into two kind of runs. It's because the last convolution run is what takes a lot of time, and so we found a way to kind of run that faster and get the outputs of symmetry and a simple PDD out a little bit quicker. And so hopefully we'll that new version will be a lot more instant. Yeah, and that's definitely a goal because yes, you're not alone with not loving the speed of Simac 2 and even ourselves, we don't love it either. So yeah, that's definitely one of our improvements on the list.
Yeah, because as you probably know, we use it in more like a classroom setting, and if we're waiting a long time for the model to update, then it takes away from the actual teaching time as well, right?
Yeah,
Mm,
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, we want it to be, I don't know if you guys have ever used Simac 1, but Simac 1 kind of has an instant response and so
yeah.
that is our goal is to update our new version to have this same instant response because yes, we find that a lot more useful.
Okay. Well, thank you. That'd be good to see.
Yeah, yeah.
So your
And of
target
course,
release dates is APM.
that's our target release date. I can't make any promises on anything, but that's we do really want to showcase our new version at the 8 p.m. And then
Mhm.
obviously anybody with a subscription obviously gets the upgrade within their subscription. And then we'll host hopefully some new webinars and maybe some demos and some time to get familiar with the new platform because there will be some changes to the interface and things like that. It'll be the same functionality, but there might be a couple interface changes.
Yeah, that timing would be perfect for us for our fall sessions.
Fall
So
sessions.
that would be great. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, yeah, I'll keep that in mind as well. And yeah, have you guys when you guys run those, do you ever have multiple people trying to run them at the same time and run into issues in that regard?
Oh yeah, we have 15 people each with their own account doing
Yeah.
the same labs at the same time, right? Essentially. So yeah.
Yeah. Yep, that's yeah, we figured. So
What
good
do
to
you,
know.
that's a that raises a question with me. How many simultaneous users do you have max? What's the maximum
Um,
you've seen?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I know we have some customers that at a time, have used 20 plus at a time.
Yeah.
Um, one time we did like we were at a trade show and we did a big live demo and we had about 60 users going all at once. We did
Oh,
spin up like an extra server in case things got kind of overwhelmed, but we were able to handle it then.
okay.
So,
That's pretty
um,
good.
yeah, sometimes because of the time it takes for the current simulation, sometimes they get kind of stuck in the requests. So you put one in when somebody else is requesting, and they get kind of confused, and one will stop running. So hopefully that won't happen anymore with the instant kind of the faster runs as well.
All
So
right.
hopefully get rid of a couple problems. But yeah, but
Building
okay.
in any analytics. So as I understand, you don't currently track who's logging in for how long and doing what.
Yes, we're working on doing that a little bit more as well and trying to see where, the more common places people are using the simulators as well, so we can, make sure those things are working the best and most efficiently. Because yeah, we do need a little bit more data on who's using the simulators and how they're using them. So if you guys ever want to provide that info too, happy to
Yeah,
listen.
we probably could. Yeah. It's obviously a bigger deal for you than it is for us. I'm just asking out of curiosity. So
Yeah, no,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, definitely stuff we're working on. Figuring out all the Google Analytics on how to track that stuff. But
Mhm.
but
Yeah, I'm
okay.
definitely looking forward to the new version with the service screens. That's
Yes.
kind of what I was hoping for today, but coming soon.
Coming soon. Yes, coming soon. We can't quite still under wraps and still not quite sure about all the implementation and things like that. So, but as soon as we know, definitely the people that are involved in this webinar, our customers and stuff will be the first to know about these things.
Yeah, and the speed has been the big issue with the second version
Big
for
issue.
me as well. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
We do expect to get a new employee in the next month or so. So looking forward to them basically starting with this
Great.
because we expect they'll have no experience whatsoever. So it'll be interesting how this helps move them forward.
Yeah, yeah. Compared to especially like when you went through the course and stuff, we could see the improvements as we kind of make that better and have some more resources and materials for the course. Be nice
Yeah,
to
and
see.
I definitely went backwards, going to Varian first
Right, right. Yeah.
and the course at Princess Margaret and then this
And then this one. Yeah,
after
yeah.
that. So
Right.
we're going to try the opposite direction this time.
Yeah. Yeah, and see how that one goes. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'd be curious. And that's perfect timing. I mean, we haven't come out with our fall date yet. But we're undecided on a September or October start right now. Maybe I'd ask you, we're thinking about the idea of offering more courses a year and kind of doing maybe 3 times a week, so the course would go a bit faster. Would you have any ideas on that or thoughts on
Well,
that?
uh, for us, I think I'd like to see the new employee, depending what type of experience they have. I think I want to see them here for at least 3 months. So I'm kind of thinking the 3 to 6 month time frame
Right.
before they would start
Before
into
they,
this
yeah,
course.
jump into the course, not just on their first week type of thing.
Exactly. Yeah, just, so they have some sort of idea what's going on, and I'm kind of thinking maybe a year out before sending them to Varian.
Before sending them to Varian. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that seems like the timeline. And I think that's like a shorter timeline than it has kind of been in the recent years too, right?
Yeah, but we've got a lot of people retiring
Yes.
soon,
Yeah,
so
no
we
kidding.
have to accelerate
Yeah, we
no
got to. Yeah,
choice.
yeah, I know, and that's why we want to, help support you guys do that. So, well, and so would shortening the course then be? You think that'd be a good idea as well? Like you wouldn't think that would overburden or anything, having three classes a week and kind of shortening the weeks?
No, I kind of thought the time frame was pretty good.
Pretty good.
It gives you a week to kind of think about things, or a few days, and
Yeah,
for me, that always seems to work better rather than, cramming everything into a few days or a couple weeks. If you can think about one subject for a week and on to the next, I think it's a better approach.
good to know. Good to know. Yeah, because we're not sure yet about that, but we're playing with those ideas just to be able to possibly offer more for people as well. So for a couple more courses.
Now, any plans for these monthly meetings to kind of mix up the days?
We absolutely could. I guess
Yeah,
maybe there isn't plans for that. I guess I marketed a bunch that it'd be the first Thursday of every month.
yeah.
But
Just for me, couldn't be it's the absolute worst time.
worst time ever. Okay,
Yeah,
that's good to know.
Thursday afternoons are PMI days.
Ah, okay, good to
So
know. Um, Vern, do you have any comments on Thursdays?
Well, Thursdays at this time are actually good for me.
Of course,
So,
okay. Okay.
but
Well,
yeah,
yeah, why don't I can figure out a way to kind of make it where people can suggest some times and stuff like that for the webinar. So,
yeah,
and then we can maybe come together on the best time or the most
yeah.
voted or things like that.
There are other times that are good for me too. So if my schedule changes quite a bit, so
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
Right on. And then I guess maybe do you guys have many people who go to comp this year?
I don't actually know who went from here.
Yeah, you don't know.
No, a few of the physicists did, and our
Yeah,
residents.
yeah. We're in London this year, a little bit of a different location, I guess.
Well, are you there?
Nope, we're not there. We didn't
No.
no, we didn't go this year. It wasn't just wasn't in the stars for us this year. It wasn't
Hmm.
good timing and stuff, so we decided to sit it out this year. Okay. Well, if that's I mean, we don't have to go for the hour or anything like that. We can just have a shorter discussion and kind of um cap it off there if that seems like a good place. Did either of you guys have anything else?
No, I think this was good. It's an introduction
Yeah.
to what it's going to be. So yeah, well, uh, especially once we get the new version,
Yeah. Big time.
look at that a little bit more closely during these sessions. That would be great.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's hopefully where we're ramping up here for the summer. So
Yeah.
I think that's perfect. I think that went really well. So I really appreciate you guys showing up and having a little bit of discussion with me today. It's great to hear your thoughts on this, and I hope then we can do some more and give you some, like you said, some more info on our new versions and whatnot, new features.
Hmm.
yep.
Yeah, and I mean, if it's wasn't sure what to expect here, but we do have other users that I don't. Did you forward the invite to everybody? I didn't ask.
Yeah,
Uh,
I sent
yeah.
it out to all users' emails, and it was
Okay.
posted. Yeah, it was posted in the newsletter, and I'll do that monthly. I'll make sure to email everybody. But yeah, for sure, definitely, the residents and the students that are actually using it, send them here, and I can take them through the simulator and where all their content is and how to get the most out of the platform, really. So,
Now, I guess what I'm asking, uh, just to be clear, is that all the users we currently have registered for on your website, you sent them an invite.
absolutely.
Okay. All right. That's good. I don't have
Yep.
to do it then.
No,
Yeah.
no, yeah, you don't have to do it. I
Okay.
got it.
All right. But I'll encourage them to attend.
Perfect. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll end it there, and then I'm gonna post the webinar. Will be available in some way and form in the next couple of days. So I'll make sure that it gets out to you guys.
Great. Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
All
That's
right.
great. All right.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Have
thank you.
a great rest of the day, guys. We'll be in touch.
Okay. Talk to you
Thanks.
later.
Have a good day.
Okay.
Yeah, take
Bye.
care.
Bye.